dodging like strays. Climbing out the gutter, iron will like the frame. Wrapped in shadow, but they shine like noon. For heart speed and sync with the.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the King's Effect podcast. We got our Tim, we got Will here, and today we're going to be talking about basically how does so today's the discussion is cancel culture. I'm sure we all heard of Nick Will Smith. We all heard of that smut. Keep your name on my.
That was the thing.
Yeah, that was the thing. Will Smith and got canceled for a minute from the Oscars and stuff like that. Why do you think cancel culture is big in the Black community? Like, why do you think we're like the ones to get canceled out of the other ethnicities?
So that's interesting because I look at cancel culture as like in us, does it affect us more? Yes, because I think we bring it up more. But cancel culture, if you look at like statistically, came about because there were things that most of those who want to cancel cannot say. So if you put on a racial scale, I'm gonna give a good example, taking shots, but just in 1,000. Imagine, if you will, right? All three of us here, we all say the N-word, right? Mm-hmm. And Caucasian, Asian, or Latino, or what have you, right? Or who we may not deem fit to say it, says it. Then you're like, hey, look, that's not for you to say. Now they're walking around pacing, getting upset. Like, how come I can't say it? You guys can say it. I want to say it. Okay, if you can't say it, y'all can't say. And cancel culture becomes this big snowball effect, almost like that. Like in the sense of now everything that we deem, whatever, if it's a group of 100, 2,000, they deem it against whatever form of ideal they may have. Y'all can't say it. Now it becomes this bigger thing. Because at one point, cancel culture was almost geared towards like the community, but now it's blossomed into this big thing now. Oh, you said something about puppies? Cancel this person. You said you like to eat broccoli? Cancel this person. It's now getting out to a point where it's just out of hand because just people feel they can't say this. So now it becomes, okay, well, you can't say that.
Yes, I agree that it goes bigger than race because they even canceled Roseanne Barr from some old tweets that she said. Time it was like 10 plus, and she had to do something like she calling another race, another and stuff like that. And I couldn't believe that because like usually, with Black people not getting cancel culture, but it could be really any race.
Anybody, it's the same.
What's your thoughts on it, Will?
Cancel culture is bigger than what it is. And what stands behind it, especially for being Black, because we are the originals with majority of everything, and for the way how we are enthusiasts, the way how we present ourselves, the potential, the invention, the way how we mix things up and put it in a flow that we are able to do and the rhythm that goes with it, and everybody else can't do that. They have to study that. They have to copy that. So the things that takes them about 5-10 years, it takes us no less than probably 2 hours to just get it down packed and be like, you know what, we got this. Because they can't do it. Yeah, because they can't do it. They got to find a way on how to come up with this idea or this particular rule or law just to say, oh, well, you can't do this. So you're going to have to go through these steps and processes just to get where you already been there in the beginning. So only thing that they got to do is just jump to that one spot.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So you cancel us out, you cancel a majority of everything.
Yeah, because no one can dance better than Black people. Yeah, and we so many things that the race have taken away from us, and then they want to claim that they know it all or they did it first, and it doesn't even equate to what they think they can do, but we could do it better.
For sure.
Now, my next question I wanted to kind of ask was like, have you seen like cancel affected in your personal lives, or have you ever got personally canceled, internet or TikTok or Twitter or any of that?
So I've never been canceled from any aspect, but I've been on. So I just recently got TikTok, so I don't know about TikTok, but I know Twitter. I have seen the conversation piece go in where we need to cancel X, Y, and Z for, okay, boom. Example, I seen somebody was saying in the span of just Black men in general, oh, if you naturally see a black man with red flags, naturally they should be canceled. We shouldn't be talking to him. No woman should talk to him, blase, blase. Automatically, the old thought of me be like, oh, okay, well, you just on your type of time. You just on that nonsense, that BS, that bullshit. But part of me also realized at intelligence, because that's now what we're trying to grow in, right? That a lot of them are just trying to protect themselves. And I'll even go as far as saying the people of cancel culture in a larger scale are trying to protect themselves. So, but the thing is, protect yourself to whose detriment? Does that make sense? Like, how far are you going to go, or how hard are you going to drag this out to protect whatever it is you deem that need to protect it? You know, so like, I think that, you know, seeing that, I was just like, I mean, you want to cancel out somebody who you deem red flags for you. What if the next person over don't? So again, you're trying to pull in more followers to get into this big snowball effect and try to cancel out something that you deem what it is. You know, like a cult following, if you will. I mean, may not call it like that, but I feel like it's akin to. Just because somebody feels hurt, now everybody has to feel the same way that person feels. That's, to me, that's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, and really, I don't know if you ever heard that, like, Counsel with Nick Cannon. You ever?
Yeah.
He brings a lot of people from the Black community on there, and he talks a lot about how to basically, you know, like not canceling people, but having that dialogue to kind of to let people know that, hey, this is my point of view, and it's not necessarily mean that I'm going to have to get canceled or not. It's just me telling what point of view is, so I can get people to see it from a greater point of view. And I really do like that show, because it's like we should just be canceling people from left and right. We should be actually teaching them what they said was wrong. Obviously, you shouldn't have to teach a grown person to not be racist and things of that nature and stuff like that. They should already know that. It should be already ingrained. But it's just years of generational, you know, all of that good stuff that with that. And it can further perpetuate to let people think that they can get away with saying whatever they want to say. But I really, really do enjoy that show, because it kind of a bigger conversation that needs to be had, that not everything needs to be canceled. Some people just need to be counseled, basically.
Correct.
In their behavior, so they know not to say that, or they know that was offensive. So do you think that's a good idea, to, like, instead of just canceling people, we have to teach them what they said was wrong and hold them accountable, but then let them come back and redeem themselves so they can be a better person? Don't you think, when you agree that makes more sense?
So that's a double-edged sword for me, because coming from both a militant background, a street background, and then now the emotional intelligence background, the militant side of me is like I said prior, right? As an adult, you know wrong. Now, the only people who I feel like where there should be a little bit more like hands coaching or pressing on people are those who may have certain disorders or certain processes, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to people, where does that line come? You know what I'm saying? On a street level, yeah, there's certain aspects that need to be taught, because again, like anything else, you want to make sure that what's understood doesn't have no issues about people who stand. So what needs to be understood. But on emotional intelligence, then now you're like, okay, because in a new age, what you thought was cool or what you could say in the 90s, you probably can't say now at this time. So it's almost like a double-edged sword when it comes to that. Where does the line toe? Because I feel like that's the bigger issue. And like you said, on Nick Cannon's show or podcast rather as well, he talks about that, right? Because I know he asks that a lot, where does that line go with people? Because some people will try to take it one way. Oh, I didn't know, but you've seen them constantly push them below. So, you know, I'm like 50 from that type of mentality.
Now, I'm going to kind of see a little bit more of an interesting conversation. You know, keep it a little bit more interesting. Sure. So I know that a lot of people have different things in life about LGBTQ, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Why is it that, you know, cancel when they say, you know, after the LGBT and they go after people, you know, saying racist things? Why do they have to get canceled in order to learn what they need to do?
So just to make sure I understand your question, I want to make sure I'm on the same page with you. My bad, Will. I mean, so you're saying the ones who do talk about LGBTQ are the ones who are saying racist statements. Why do they get canceled?
Yeah, why do anybody get canceled when
Oh,
they say
okay,
bad
okay.
things? Like, why is it that we can't have a teachable moment for people instead of just completely
Okay.
exiting them out? Because all have flaws. No one's
Right,
perfect,
right.
And
Right.
it's just a shame that you just discard people. You know, other people, they done a
Mhm.
lot of things for different communities and they gave back to the communities and stuff like that. So why is it that when they say one bad thing,
Mhm.
X amount and they're just done completely? It doesn't make any sense. You don't, child did something bad. You
Mhm.
wouldn't just keep punishing them. You would sit them
Right.
down, talk about it,
Mhm.
ask them why they did what they did, and hopefully they do better. But we shouldn't have to keep
Right.
canceling people. We should have to actually have this dialogue. It's okay to have the dialogue and say what you said was wrong. Let me tell you why I was wrong, and here's the steps to kind of, and then going forward, do say something wrong,
Mhm.
apologize immediately, so then it doesn't perpetuate this stereotype that, something bad, you're done, and
Right,
then it has that fear among, I can't
Mhm.
say this, I can't say that, I
right,
can't say
right,
that, and it
right.
just keeps getting worse. So my question is just, why is it that we have to keep canceling people when they say something wrong? Like, we have to
Let
put a
me get
time.
you on. I'm gonna get it on that one right there. I'm glad that you broke it down a little bit more because I really had to process that question. The first thing that popped up in my head was I call it the one train. That means that everybody has to think about that one way. And I mean, this way or it's no other way. So canceling them out, that's the only thing that they could think of just to prove some type of punishment, just to let them know, hey, since you won't do that, this is what we're going to do to you. There's no if, and, or buts about it. There's no slap on the wrist on how we're going to try to dispute this or try to give you some type of teaching lesson because it's a mentality structure on what's going to be the real issue or the real answer behind that. And
Right.
that's how it is in this world now. It's just straight to the point. Hey, that's it. You're done. We're not going to give you no warnings. We're not going to give you no heads up. It's like signing a contract. If you just sign it without reading it, means you are liable for whatever that may come, even if you mess up and that you did not understand what was in there.
Agreed.
So that's my
Agreed.
opinion on that one.
Yeah. And forward, now that we kind of understand cancel culture is, like, are you gonna be tiptoeing around using your words lightly, or are you just gonna say what the fuck you gotta say, right?
Hey man, that's
You have to say what you gotta say in this
yeah.
world.
I feel like you already hit the nail on the head with that one. Dave Chappelle said it best, right? As human beings, right? We have three major processes: to observe, to understand, and to digest.
Mm.
Okay, so sit here and say that every moment we're all going to be politically correct, as they say, or we're always going to be in the mind frame of everybody's feelings. That's impossible, right? If you talk about Black Lives Matter, they're going to say some things that maybe the whites are going to be, oh, that's disparaging. How do you say that? Right? You're going to have some things that you're going to say that may also get, they may say toward the LGBTQ. The LGBTQ may say something. I feel like, again, that conversations can be had. We can all have a conversation. Now, if you're talking to somebody and they're like, no, I don't care what you say, then you know what type of person that is. Let's not pretend. Let's not even mince words. But to just be like, oh, he said or she said, let's stop it. Again, we're meant to understand, to observe, and to digest. I
Mhm.
Yeah.
think we keep remembering that, it'll make it easier. So, but to answer your question straight up, I say what I say. If I gotta explain it, I explain it. That's fine. But I say what I
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not fair to cancel people because, like, it's a punishment for them for saying whatever they have to say, but you can't just neglect all the good things they've done in their
say.
life.
Yeah,
The people that they helped in their life.
yeah,
Bad comment can't erase all the other good stuff that you did in your life.
right.
I don't believe that.
But
Yeah, and well, I mean, if you was in that, turning around and then you was canceled, how would
mhm,
that make you feel?
right,
You gotta play, for a minute. You gotta think about, if I was canceled, how would that make me feel? What if I lost my livelihood because I said something wrong? Like, this is real life. This is people's real life financials. Just cancel someone just because they said bad things. You
yeah,
just have to continue to keep teaching them lessons and stuff like that. But we got that clear, and I wanted to kind of close up tonight. I just wanted to kind of overall thoughts about, like, people, may not have known anyone that was canceled personally, but how can we better, how do I want to say this? How can we better, what I'm trying to say? How can we better control our emotions and stuff like that to not let us know that we can get canceled or not? And so basically, how can we, like, moving forward, how can we, people's point of views without canceling them? We do that. Because I get what you're saying, but I'm still gonna do it my way. Some people are really, they don't have like a change of mind to actually change their own thoughts and beliefs and stuff like that. They're stuck on their own beliefs and they want to do what they want to do anyway, regardless of if they know what's wrong or right. So how can we get people to understand that, that they say it was wrong, or to them privately or something like that, with some of the other solutions than counseling people?
Two things that come to mind is, first, control the controllable. So meaning, like you said, your emotions, you have power over that, not the person, right? And then from a business standpoint, because for whatever reason, Kevin Hart just popped in my head and Isaiah Washington popped in my head. So I say Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart did the good thing. Isaiah Washington did not, which is control the narrative. The whole idea of good press, bad press is all press, that's gone now. So if you don't say nothing, that's also an answer. So for me, like, of what it is, more often than not, if you're just giving the truth, because now we're in the investigative era, everybody's going to investigate whatever about you, whether you're somebody famous or not. If you are saying the truth, if you control the narrative, and you actually put it to what it is, I think you will be able to survive the wave that is cancel culture. So those two things just pop in my mind: control the controllable and control the narrative. And I'm gonna put the asterisks with truth. So
yeah, and speaking of that, like and stuff like that online, people can go back and dig up years and years to see if what you're saying now is the truth. Like, just because P. Diddy situation and stuff like that, people was they tweets and stuff like that because they didn't want to be associated with Diddy and stuff like that. So it make look guilty in a way, like, why are you deleting, or why did you private all your videos and stuff like that if you didn't have anything to do with it? Makes people feel guilty, like they're the person who they say they are. So I do believe, and I definitely do believe in second chances. Like, I believe people should just get canceled and they're done with, and just throw them away like they're trash. Like, I do believe in redemption. I believe that everybody has a second chance. But I'm not going to keep giving you chance after chance after chance. Right. You're trying to do better. So, but all of the conversation we're going to have tonight here, fellas, I really appreciate you guys for rocking with me all the time. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep moving. Hopefully, I'm working on something to kind of where maybe we might have a person here too, so we can keep the conversation even more going. But that's a wrap. Do you have anything else to say to close up the conversation, or that's about it?
Keep hope alive and peace. That's really it.
All right, I see that.
I'll say this: radical acceptance. I'm gonna just leave that word right there, and then if anybody want to ask about it, I'm gonna let you do your research now. I'm not gonna give you the answer. Radical acceptance.
All right. We're gonna close this up tonight, fellas. But thank you again for being co-hosts with me, and that's a wrap. Peace.
Fight, dodging light strays, climbing out the gutter, iron will like the frame. Wrapped in shadow, but they shine like noon. For hearts beating, sink, break the